There are games that gently teach you how to play. They hold your hand, they explain every button, they apologize when you fail. Menace does none of that. Menace looks you dead in the eyes, throws you into traffic, and says, "Good luck figuring out which way the cars are coming from." Developed by Overhype Studios and published by Hooded Horse, Menace enters early access on February 5th, 2026, and it wastes absolutely no time making one thing clear. This is a serious, unapologetic turn based strategy game that assumes you're willing to bleed a little in order to understand it, and somehow it works. From the moment you start playing, Menace knows exactly what it wants to be. This is not a cinematic power fantasy, it's not a casual tactic snack, and it definitely isn't interested in making you feel clever in the first 10 minutes. Menace is a squad based, turn based war game that lives somewhere in the same galaxy as XCOM, still my personal gold standard for the genre, but it immediately sets itself apart in one crucial way. You don't command individual heroes, you command squads. Entire squads move together, fight together, panic together, and occasionally fall apart together. That single design choice changes everything. You're not babysitting one overpowered soldier, you're managing cohesion, positioning, morale, fatigue, and attrition all at once, and suddenly every bad decision hurts more. The immersion kicks in fast. You're choosing squad leaders, assembling teams, and locking in early loadouts that are aggressively basic. No flashy weapons, no safety nets, no congratulations, here's a rocket launcher moment. Progression is slow, deliberate, and earned. Weapons don't rain from the sky, resources don't magically regenerate. Everything you gain comes from missions and operations, and anything you don't need, you sell it on the black market like a responsible war criminal, so you can inch closer to the gear you actually want. Manus respects scarcity, and it makes you feel every single limitation. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the tutorial, or rather, the absence of one. Menace explains almost nothing, and I don't mean it explains things poorly. I mean the game regularly looks at you, shrugs, and says, "You will figure it out." Basic mechanics like strafing, rescuing civilians, extracting authority figures, or picking up cargo are barely explained, if at all. You'll assume vehicles can carry cargo, that seems logical, and then fail multiple missions before discovering that only infantry squads can do it. The game never tells you. You don't learn through instruction, you learn through failure, repeated, demoralizing failure. So let me be very clear. Play your first run on normal. Yes, that is the lowest difficulty. No, that does not mean it's easy. Even on normal, Menace can be brutal, especially when the game is actively hiding half its rules from you. Once you understand what it's doing, the difficulty makes sense. But until then, it's like being tested on material you were never given. Once you push past that early friction, Manus starts to shine. The core gameplay loop is excellent. On the strategy layer, you select leaders, build squads, and tailor loadouts specifically for upcoming missions. Missions are grouped into operations, and operations are the real backbone of the game. Each operation is a chain of missions where success or failure compounds. One bad mission can poison the entire run. After every mission, you gather loot, weapons, equipment, and resources. Complete the full operation successfully, and you're rewarded with something actually meaningful. Between operations, you upgrade systems aboard the Impetus, your command ship, improving weapons tech, intelligence capabilities, and medical facilities. It's a tight, addictive loop that constantly pushes you forward, with just enough hope to make you forget how badly things went last time. Moment to moment, Manus feels great to play. Keyboard and mouse controls are responsive and intuitive. Unit selection is smooth. Movement feels deliberate and precise. Across dozens of hours, I encountered no gameplay breaking bugs. For an early access title, that level of stability is impressive. Menace already feels solid, like a finished foundation waiting to be expanded. That said, Menace is packed with systems, and while the depth is impressive, the lack of explanation creates unnecessary friction. Gear descriptions are detailed, but compatibility isn't always obvious. You'll buy a weapon that looks perfect for a vehicle, only to discover it doesn't fit that platform at all. You can trade items back, so you're not permanently punished, but the time spent figuring out what works and what doesn't adds up. Menace respects intelligence. Sometimes, though, it mistakes silence for elegance. For early access, content variety is strong. Multiple mission types. Several factions beyond the central menace itself, some of which I still haven't even encountered. More importantly, it's obvious this is just the beginning. With more factions and mission types added over time, Menace has the potential to become something truly special. Difficulty balance is no joke. Normal difficulty, the intended entry point, can still be punishing. Many early failures aren't tactical mistakes, they're knowledge gaps. Once the systems click, the game feels fair, demanding but fair, and the fact that I immediately want to move up to higher difficulties after finishing my first run says a lot about how compelling those systems are. Fatigue plays a huge role. Soldiers and drivers get tired, frustrated, or injured, and pushing them too hard directly impacts performance. This forces you to maintain multiple squads and vehicles instead of relying on one perfect team. 2 vehicles early on feels mandatory. 3 or 4 squads quickly becomes essential. Menace isn't about hero units, it's about survival. Enemy AI on normal difficulty is aggressive and relentless. Some missions throw wave after wave at you, often with better equipment than your own troops at that stage. Menace doesn't rely on cheap tricks, it relies on pressure, and it works. One thing Menace desperately needs is a reference map during missions. You can study enemy placements before deployment, but once the mission starts, that information vanishes. No mini-map, no overlay, nothing. If you forget where enemies or hideouts were, your planning becomes useless. At one point, I genuinely found myself sketching enemy locations on paper. It's 2026. I'm playing a PC strategy game, and I'm using pen and paper like it's a tabletop war game from the 90s. That's not immersive. That's just stubborn design. Narratively, Menace keeps things functional and focused. World building supports the gameplay without drowning you in lore. Battle dialogue is restrained and effective. Squad leaders have personality without hijacking the experience. Most importantly, the story never fights the systems underneath it. Visually, Menace looks excellent. Explosions feel heavy, buildings crumble convincingly. The art direction balances realism with clarity. Sound design reinforces that weight beautifully. Weapons sound dangerous. Music builds tension without overstaying its welcome. Voice acting is solid across the board. Load times are lightning fast, and across dozens of hours, I experienced a single crash, and that was after leaving the game idle for hours, while Steam itself gave up. Otherwise, it's rock solid. One early access limitation that needs addressing is the inability to save during missions. Once a mission starts, you're locked in until it's finished. No saving, no stepping away. You either commit or you don't play. In a game where missions can be long and mentally demanding, that gets frustrating fast. Not a deal breaker, but definitely something that needs fixing. Menace doesn't have many direct competitors. XCOM 2 is the closest comparison, but the two games approach tactics very differently. Menace strips away safety nets and focuses on momentum, attrition, and squad level decision making instead of Overwatch chess and superhero turns. If you love XCOM, Jagged Alliance 3, or Chaos Gate Daemon Hunters, this game should absolutely be on your radar. Just be warned, it's dangerously addictive. Plan your free time accordingly. So, where does that leave us? Menace's strengths are clear. Innovative squad-based combat, a brilliant operation structure where failure matters, meaningful progression with real consequences, and impressive stability for an early access title. Its weaknesses are just as obvious. Poor onboarding, missing quality of life features, and a tutorial that feels more like a suggestion than a system. Despite that, the foundation here is excellent. Menaces isn't perfect, but it's ambitious, demanding, and refreshingly unapologetic. In a genre that's been playing it safe, that alone makes it worth paying attention to. I'm giving Menace an 8 out of 10. If Overhype Studios continues to build on this foundation and addresses its onboarding and usability issues, this could easily become a genre-defining strategy game. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe for more strategy deep dives, and let me know in the comments whether Menace broke you or if you broke it first. Thanks for watching. And remember, failure isn't optional in Menace, it's part of the tutorial.